Just soak in this liquid and you will become beautiful. This chubby girl soaked in it for 1 minute. After getting out of the bath, she turned into a beautiful girl. Today I will review for you a movie beauty liquid. Teodine feels that recently her husband has been treating her coldly. A couple can't talk to each other more than 10 sentences a day. It was obvious that they were both sleeping in the same bed, but they seemed to be a world apart. In the morning, she carefully brought the bowl of meat porridge she cooked to her husband, but she didn't expect her husband to get angry and said, "Never cook such a boring dish in the morning." Then he got up and turned around to talk and play with his dog very happily. It seems that he doesn't care about Teodine's existence. After petting the dog, he gets up to go to work. Teodine is at home doing housework. While washing clothes, she suddenly heard something falling from her pocket. She picked it up. It was a lighter someone gave to her husband. There was a phoenix written on it. This man has become a bad guy now, just being outside all day without going home. While angry, Teodine flipped open her bag to find a business card with effective liposuction written on it. Teodine picked it up and stared at the address written on it. Finally, she made up her mind to go to the address written on the business card. Unexpectedly, as soon as she arrived, the door seemed to have predicted, automatically opened inviting her in. Inside was a very beautiful hostess. She said she knew what purpose Teodine came here for, so she invited her to just walk in. Teodine timidly entered the room. She saw in the room that apart from the bizarre arrangement of things, the thing that caught her attention the most was the huge bathtub. The hostess introduced, inside this bathtub is a liquid that can make her beautiful. It can help her transform into any shape she desires, only the process is a bit painful. Just because she wants to hold on to that bad man, is it really worth it? Teodine has made her own decision. She lay still and let the mistress paint herself full of symbols without complaint. Then she soaked in the bathtub, letting the mistress help her change her appearance. It feels like using the method of bone removal. By the time she got up from the water, she had already turned into a beautiful girl. After experiencing pain for a while, her fat body is no longer there. Her body has completely changed. Where she needs to be thin has become thin. She looked at herself in the mirror, a happy smile on her face. The owner gave her a gift, then said that one day she would have to use this gift. Inside contains beauty liquid that is not diluted. Teodine's purpose was successfully completed. She happily returned home, now that she has completely changed. Then her husband will definitely no longer hate her. While walking on the street, she coincidentally met her husband walking the dog. The dog recognized Teodine. He happily ran to her. Her husband did not recognize his wife. He contacted Keep apologizing to her. Teodine took off her sunglasses and was about to greet her husband, but unexpectedly, he immediately praised her. Why does such a beautiful fairy appear in a small town like this? Then say flirty sentences. At this time, Teodine was about to tell him that she was his wife, but was stopped by him using flirtatious actions. He did not hesitate to talk about the apartment with 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms. At this time, Teodine saw her husband's real face with her own eyes. After receiving his business card, she immediately left this small neighborhood. She rented a room in the hotel. That night, she called her husband and said that she was going back to her hometown for a few days. Her husband immediately put on a cold tone and said go away. He is still busy with work, so he has no time to care. At the same time, Teodine coldly looked at the text messages on the phone. Earlier, she used a new phone number to make WeChat friends with her husband. He was using sweet words to send her a series of texts and invited her to his house for dinner tomorrow night. Teodine took out the gift that the owner had given her. She decided to give her husband this gift tomorrow. She accepted her husband's invitation. After going inside, her husband said he lived alone, so the furniture in the house was a bit messy. While he was in the kitchen to prepare food, Teodine looked around the room. Her pillow in the bedroom was thrown under the bed by him. There was only 1 toothbrush left in the bathroom. Opening the bottom drawer, as expected, all her belongings were thrown in there. At this point her heart was completely silent. At dinner, her husband specially prepared a bottle of wine. Looking at the other's happy eyes, Teodine really couldn't understand when he had changed like that. In her memory, her husband would stare at his phone every time he ate dinner, as if he didn't care at all about her existence in front of her. A long time ago, when the two were newly married, her husband was very kind to help her with the cooking. Throw away, just pretend that the person in front of her right now is a stranger. After the sound of wine glasses falling, her husband also fainted. It turned out that the glass of wine was stolen by her. Teodine remembers the time when the 2 people just moved here to live in this house. At that time, her heart was filled with hope of a happy life with her husband here, no matter how difficult life is. As long as she lives with her husband, she can accept it. But unfortunately, people's hearts will change. He has changed. She is not the same as before. Teodine took out the cosmetic liquid bottle. This liquid, if diluted, can change the skin of a person. But now when it is not diluted, it will make the human body melt. She just walked over to her husband and screwed the bottle cap. Although in her heart she wanted to kill this evil man, but she still couldn't help but cry. In the end, the tears rolling down her husband's face were just hairs. That liquid bottle was screwed up by her and then thrown in the trash. Theodine was still soft-hearted and forgave her husband, could only sigh and exclaim, she sacrificed everything for this treacherous man. It was really not worth it. While wanting to give everything to others, it is better to take some time to take care of yourself. Okay, today's movie comes to an end. The movie is rooted in a magical museum. Each story is developed around this museum. This episode is drawn from a beauty promotional business card. The painting style is very similar to the wonderful stories of a reversed world. Although the content is not much, it has left a deep impression on the viewers. This is Peach's movie review program. See you in the next movies.